Alright, you grass-hopping lunatics, it's time for the 2,000 subscriber Q&A special. I've mustered up quite a few questions over the past week that the grasshoppers have been asking, and we're going to get right down to business here shortly and get these answered. But first, I just want to thank each and every one of you guys. You're awesome. Even if you're not subscribed, but you keep coming back to watch these videos, thank you. You're crazy, but thank you. And you know what? I still can't believe that the channel just kind of took off the way it did. It's crazy. I don't think I deserve it. I'm kind of at the bottom of the barrel here. But for some reason, you guys keep coming back looking for more. So I'm glad of that. I'd also like to give a special shout out to the members of the channel. There are currently 7 memberinos, and I appreciate the support. Anyway, that's enough with the sob story. Let's go ahead and knock some of these questions out of the park. What do we got here? First up, we got the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's been around here for a long time. Give it up for Philip St. Laurent. He says, okay, Junkie, here's a couple of questions. What are the best 3 or 4 cartoons ever? What position did you play in hockey? And how about some plumbing tips? Okay, my favorite cartoon ever is South Park, okay? Nothing comes even close to that for me. That's just got my kind of humor all over it. Number 2, I'm going to go with Rick and Morty. And number 3, or whatever number we're on, I'm going to go out on a limb here and pick Robot Chicken. My position in hockey would be some kind of 4th line grinder, maybe like a Douglas Murray, but on the wing. And as for plumbing tips, let's start right from the scratch, buddy. Payday's on Friday. Shit runs downhill. And for the love of God, don't chew your fingernails. It's never a good idea. Oh, and don't flush things down the toilet that aren't meant to be flushed down the toilet. Next question. Alex Clark is wondering if I think it's time for Bergevin to retire. And you know what, Alex? It depends on what day you're asking me that. Sometimes when I get deep in thought, I think, yes, definitely. It's time to get some different minds in here and change things up a bit. And then a couple of months go by and they go out and somehow make the Stanley Cup Finals. So it's an emotional roller coaster. Next up, we got Andrew Brockerville. This man is wondering how I like my grilled cheese. This is a wicked question. And definitely with some bacon on it. Have you ever thrown bacon on your grilled cheese, Andrew? If you haven't, give it a shot. It does make your heart scream a little, but it's pretty damn good. Matthew Dyer is wondering if me and Scotian Canadian have ever chatted about doing a collaboration or a preseason breakdown chat or something. You know what? Scotian Canadian is the man. Okay, he's a legend. I love his channel. I watch him all the time. I don't miss a video. And I actually reached out to him a long time ago seeking advice back when I first began YouTubing. And the guy was quick to get back to me and answered every question that I had. But I haven't spoken to him since, so who knows? I'm sure if he ever wanted to do some kind of collaboration, I'd be down for it. Guys like Scotian Canadian, Rick from Talkin' Habs, Lego Rocks, and all the rest of these guys, I watch them all the time. They're great at what they do, and I am a fan. Moving on, Danny Sims is wondering how good I am at hockey and when I'll crack the Habs lineup. I'm going to have to say I'm slightly better than Connor McDavid, just a bit, but I'm not as good as John Murrell. I'm somewhere in the middle of that ballpark, and last year I offered the Habs a $2 million contract to take me for 1 year, and they declined. They said I'd be a distraction. Next on the list, my boy Gubbinator is wondering how do I come up with all these jokes? And do I put some extra sauce on my voice just for fun? You know what, Gubbs? I think my mind is corrupted, okay? There's something wrong with me, man. I know it. Maybe I was born with half a brain. I don't know. As for the extra barbecue sauce on my voice, I do like to add a little raspy sauce in there from time to time for fun. But other than that, what you're hearing right now is what I'll call the excited version of my real voice. It's my Christmas morning voice, if that makes any sense. Now we got my Manzo, Jason Manzo, and he's asking if I think any Canadiens player will be traded, and if so, who? Well, you might not like the name that I'm going to throw out here, but Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I don't know why. I just got this sick feeling like Jesperi Kotkaniemi is not going to be a Hab in the next couple of years. He's the one young guy on the team, a big piece that I could see getting moved for whatever reason. I just got a fishy feeling about it. Next up, we got LP Matters. Mr. Matters is wondering who my pick is to bring the Habs to the next level. And you know what? I don't think any of the UFA players on the market could really bring the Habs to the next level and instantly make them a cup contender, especially with the pieces that are now missing. But when I think about the team they got, the kids coming up, the youngins, I think of a guy like Nick Suzuki. He's great at his own end of the rink. He's putting up some points. He's putting up big points in big games. And if he continues to develop and improve his game and can be a number one center down the stretch, which is going to be the position he's in next season, he could be that guy. I think he's underrated. Now, on to Noah Gomez Robitaille, who's got a killer YouTube name. And he's wondering how old I am and how would I feel if Jack Eichel was a Canadian. Well, Noah, I just turned 32 years old. Time flies when you're having fun. And as for how I'd feel if Jack Eichel was a Hab, I'd lose my mind. He would be the best player the franchise has had since like Radek Bonk. Just kidding. But the guy is a star, and if he was a Hab and he was healthy, I think he would be a force. OG Hubs is wondering what my most memorable moment was as a Habs fan. Wicked question. And I'm going to have to pick the game against the Rangers when the Habs were losing by like 5 goals. And managed to come back and win the game. Remember that? I think old Michael Ryder scored a pair of goals that game. That was awesome. Paul Atreides is wondering since when was I so cool? Paul, guys like you and me, we were born this way, bud. Next up, we got my man, Philip Willard. And he's wondering if I think the Habs are going to get Jack Eichel or Alexander Ovechkin, and if I'll ever do a face reveal or something like that. I don't think the Habs are going to get Jack Eichel. It almost sounds too good to be true. It would be pretty cool, but I think they'd have to grenade the entire locker room and the core just to bring his ass in here. As for Ovechkin, I doubt it at this point. And the face reveal could be in the future. Who knows? But as for now, if you want to know what I look like, drink 10 beers. Take a look at this picture of Patrick Swayze. Now take a look at this picture of Mel Gibson. Mix them together and then hit them over the head with a bag of nails, and there you go. That's me. Next, my man, P.O., which stands for Pissed Off, is wondering what a classic night is for me when watching the Habs on TV. You see that? I just took his question and I made it rhyme. You know, when I was living in Alberta, the games would come on right around supper time. So I'd always bring my supper to the couch. My wife hated that. And I'd eat whatever was made and drink some beers to unwind from work. But nowadays that I'm back in Newfoundland, I usually just grab some popcorn because that is my go-to junk food. So I'll pop a bag of those bad boys up and sit back, have a beer, and watch the game. Good question, by the way. Now on to Ray E. Ray is wondering if Drouin is going to return and if his rust will make him relapse. Well, Ray, I think he's definitely going to return at this point unless he gets traded between now and game 1. But as for the relapse, I don't know. Drouin needs a coming out year, huh? He needs to really put on a show this year, and I hope he does, and I hope it's with the Habs. S. White is asking, how did I become a Habs fan? Well, my answer to that is pretty simple. If I didn't cheer for the Habs, I would have probably had to live in a doghouse outside in the yard, okay? My dad is a die-hard Habs fan. My whole family cheers for the team, and I was just kind of born into this madness. It's awesome. And finally, last but not least, we got Sam Carrier. Sam, you've been around here for a long time, my man. Thank you for that. Sam is wondering why I call everybody grasshoppers. And you know what? I don't know. The truth is, I call everybody something. I'm the kind of guy that got a nickname on most of my friends. Sometimes more than one. It's just a habit I got. I call everybody something. But grasshoppers and Neanderthals are usually my go-to names for groups of people. Anyway, guys, that's it. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry, and I'll see you next time.